Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Capricorns, let's go ahead and take a peek. What do we have coming toward Capricorn that Cap does not know about or doesn't see yet? We have the moon. Definitely could be a big surprise. 10 of Swords, Knight of Wands upright, 5 of Wands. I'm so sorry to say it, but something that Capricorn doesn't want could be trying to dance on into their life. I don't think Capricorn's going to have too much trouble sorting out, like, what are you here for? This could be a person who is like suddenly coming to visit, and it's like, what is their intention here? They may have burned some bridges and they don't want to admit that, so they're trying to see if they could build other bridges. But it feels like somebody testing the waters, Capricorn. This could be somebody who has a secretive nature. As a whole, we have the moon on both of these cards, so I'm sorry I can't read this in a very nice, fluffy way. This could be, somebody who's like out of the blue, like, oh, I'm coming to visit, when really they're like, maybe I will, this could be somebody who's coming to town. It could be somebody who either has this belief that they can get Capricorn to be like interested in them. This could be somebody who's trying to push the boundaries of like loose friendship. Maybe there was a low-key flirtation, but nothing really came of it. And now suddenly they're acting like long lost best friend, but with a little bit of like extra warmth. Like, they're really, I don't know, they're laying on a flirtatious vibe here. Well, I think Capricorn is going to be like, this is kind of weird. What is their agenda? What direction are they trying to take this in? Am I a friend? Am I somebody they're interested in? What is their real motive here? It looks like somebody who's recently had an ending. Maybe they lost a job. Maybe they're looking for a new place to land. I'm so sorry to keep coming up with negative images. The reason I'm reading it that way is because of the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, they don't have to be a bad soul, okay? But they are indecisive at best. They are still seeking something. They're seeking answers. They're seeking their identity. They're seeking things, which means they're not stable yet. They don't have things sorted out for themselves yet. So what do you do when somebody doesn't have it figured out yet? They're unreliable. They're a wild card because they don't even know what they're going to do yet. And it does feel like somebody's trying to test the waters, and maybe test the waters of romance, or to see like, hey, will Capricorn take the bite? It doesn't mean that they aren't actually attracted to Capricorn. Quite the reverse. Of course they're attracted to Capricorn, but they also don't, it's like this person is like, I don't want to invest unless I'm going to get like the best energy possible, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, so I want to test the waters. I want to flirt with Capricorn. Capricorn's really hot, but they're not actually coming in with security and with this huge offer and this, like, here's who I am, here's what I want to offer to my Capricorn. They don't come across that way. So let me just change decks here and say, what is the big message just here for Capricorn in regards to this person? 6 of Pentacles. Capricorn has a very loyal aspect to them. Capricorn tends to give to things and could potentially even be willing to take a big leap and assume that somebody wants to give equally to them. Maybe Capricorn has done this in the past, has like said, okay, well, I assume everybody operates the way I do, with a loyal heart, with a, I'm willing to move swiftly. We have Knight of Swords and Hierophant here. The message to Capricorn is to consider all things. Is this person displaying long-term commitment, or are they displaying like erratic behavior? Because to ask, are they operating the exact same way that I do? If not, then why would I be so willing to leap in, give all of my, because I think this is a Capricorn who gives reliability. They may be somebody where they're like, oh, sometimes I can be impulsive, but I also do exactly what I say I'm going to. I don't know. This storyline to me hints that Capricorn is an amazingly generous, stable, secure, mature person who means every word that they say. Queen of Cups. Also, this Capricorn has given their heart before This Capricorn, man, when they say something, they really mean it. They have a strong belief and a creed that they live by. They give their heart where they feel they want to, and that's super brave and wonderful. The only thing is with the Four of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, um, sometimes that amazingly loving and giving nature, perhaps, and even having that like amazing creed that Capricorn lives by, all of that has sometimes led them to disappointment because giving huge attention to something that maybe is very immature, meaning that person who wants to come into Capricorn's world, you can't really match a Queen of Pentacles with a Page of Pentacles. The difference is too great. If this represents our Capricorn, somebody knows who they are, stable, secure, has a ton to offer, gives their heart, opens up their door, and says, I fully commit myself to things that I want in life. That's awesome. But it also says, because Capricorn has so much that they can offer, consider whose hands they're about to put all of that loveliness into. Is that person mature enough? And I would just say that Capricorn at times in life, they have discovered that there is an illusion. Sometimes people show up and they want something from Capricorn, and Capricorn assumes, well, they wouldn't be asking or, attempting to give to me unless they were ready to give, all the way, the same way they know I'm willing to give. And I think Capricorn has already discovered that can be an illusion. Sometimes you're dealing with people that are much more immature. I think Capricorn knows this lesson. They've learned it once before, maybe twice before. And really all it is that I think Capricorn had a hard time wrapping their head around the fact that not everybody is as mature and knows themselves as well as Cap does. That's no insult to Capricorn. If anything, that just says Capricorn is like one of those people who can't quite fathom, like, why would you bother to lie? Like, why would you do that? Like, I would never waste my time lying. If I'm not ready for something, I simply know I'm not ready. Yes, but that's because Capricorn is fearless and they're brave and they know what they think, and they don't maybe test waters and try to, like figure out where their next move is going to be or where their next meal is going to come from or what they're doing in life. They don't burn bridges because Capricorn probably would never have built a bridge unless they intended to tend to it anyway. So I just feel like Capricorn couldn't possibly get in the head of somebody who's a much younger soul. And that's really what this feels like, young soul versus old soul. And I don't think Capricorn could wrap their mind around how this person operates because it's so not in Capricorn's makeup. But if we have somebody about to show up in Capricorn's life after they've burned bridges elsewhere, and this could be somebody that Capricorn has always cared about. This could be somebody who genuinely is attracted to Capricorn, always was, but they still don't seem to be coming in with certainty. They seem to be coming in like probably, I would argue, more discombobulated than ever. At least that's what we have on this collection of cards for them. Please bear in mind, these are fictional stories. So all of this is for this particular character, right? But I do think that the nudge of what this storyline is pointing out, just as a whole, is, and maybe it's always wise to evaluate anything that comes into our life. Is it at the same level of maturity that we're at? Watch someone's actions, not just their words, and see if the two fit together. 8 of Cups in the reverse definitely says that this person is coming back into Capricorn's life. With the Fool and the 6 of Wands, they may seem so like, oh my God, so glad this is so perfect. Like, this is exactly where I needed to be. This is exactly everything. They jump in with both feet. They come in and they act super excited and like this is exactly where they want to be and everything is wonderful. This person could be very confusing because it even looks like their actions, at least in the beginning, will also match their joy. They seem very ecstatic. They are jumping in with both feet, running around the mountain. Oh my God, at last. I'm where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly what I needed to have happen in my life. I've got my Capricorn. And then we have this Page of Pentacles again, and then it devolves. And then we have the 9 of Wands, and then we have the 7 of Swords. And then they withdraw because they have unhealed wounds. And it turns out they've been lying to themselves about how ready they are for something. This person's real problem in this storyline is that they lie to themselves. It's not that they lie to Capricorn, they lie to themselves about whether or not they're healed enough. This is not somebody who I think sets out to be a liar. It's that they disguise from themselves. Like maybe either how I almost feel like this person's scared. They're scared of being adrift. You see that they're directionless. And I almost think that this person has never either felt really grounded or they particularly feel ungrounded right now. But I feel like as much as they're going to try to like throw themselves into a connection with our Capricorn, all of a sudden, the thing that could still, two things can be true at the same time. They know Capricorn is freaking amazing. Capricorn's always stayed on their mind. They want to be around Capricorn. And at the same time, they can still be adrift. It almost feels like somebody who hasn't found their identity. And they have deep wounds and patterns and all kinds of things that they have not made peace with yet. But they want so badly to have foundation. And Capricorn represents all that is a foundation, everything that is good, everything that is, stable. And of course they would want to be with this Capricorn. I even think this person truly loves our Capricorn with that King of Wands. But unfortunately, they, at least in this snapshot of time, the way they come back into Capricorn's world, or when they come back into Capricorn's world, it'll start out great and then it's all wobbly again. But this actually says that they may get to the point where they can actually be that King of Wands, but possibly not before they act really unstable again. The Star, the Knight of Pentacles, I don't know. This kind of says that's a long way off. This person could come in and they could cause a ruckus in Capricorn's life if Capricorn doesn't, look at this person with eyes wide open and be like, okay, they seem thrilled. They want to be back in my world. They want everything I have to offer, but I have learned about illusions of people believing that they're ready to offer something when they may not be. I kind of think this is Capricorn being very, very wise, very, very mature because they've been down that road before. With the Five of Pentacles sideways, Page of Swords upright, Two of Wands upright. Oh, Capricorn's not going to fall for any of this. Capricorn's like, I've learned how to read between the lines. I can see what someone is projecting, and then I can see what they're actually doing. I can also hear when somebody says things that are too perfect, too good to be true. They're too on board. They're too excited, almost like a huge, manic amount of this is perfect. This is so perfect. This is everything. This is the most perfect thing ever. I think Capricorn's like, this sounds overcompensating. Sounds like you want to believe that you found the most perfect thing ever. So then you can get grounded, but I'm paying close attention. And I'm saying, I think that this person is not somebody that I should be, leaning into and saying, oh, I'm totally going to open the door to my heart and everything, and they can stay forever in my world, and I'm going to expect them to be ready to give. I think this is going to end up being an opportunity where Capricorn is not being tested by the universe, but I feel like Capricorn has done all this before, possibly with this person, and them showing up yet again is another opportunity for Capricorn to be like, you're still struggling with finding your voice, aren't you? I know you're not a bad sort. I know you're doing the best you can while not being fully matured yet. I know you're a young soul and you're trying to tell yourself that you know where you belong, but you still haven't figured out where you belong only because you don't know who you want to be yet. You're not trying to hurt me. You're trying to figure yourself out. I think all this is maybe a lesson that is already coming up for Capricorn, or this, and what Capricorn doesn't see coming is like this person reappears, but I think Capricorn is going to feel very different about them. And it might just give a whole different perspective, both for Capricorn to say, I know that I'm a really loving person. I also know not everybody is in the same maturity space that I'm in, particularly this person. And I can see right out of the gate that I can see what they're wanting from me, but I can see what they're not really ready for. It kind of sucks they haven't found their voice yet. It's almost like Capricorn feels more compassion for them, honestly. So let me ask this, because I don't really see this person staying, not right now anyway, in Capricorn's life. Not when we saw them as that, Knight of Wands, and then eventually somebody with the Seven of Swords, where all their plans don't really seem like they're going to last. But I think Capricorn was already like, I already knew that. Let me just ask, what does Capricorn gravitate toward after this? Two of Cups. That's kind of what I figured. This person is not Capricorn's Two of Cups. This Knight of Wands, they will show up time and again in Capricorn's life. The Moon, the Queen of Swords. Even the reason that they've shown back up is because they might have seemed like a Two of Cups. They might have seemed like, oh, well, this person has to be my person, because how come they keep returning? But Capricorn's like, they keep returning because they don't know where they're meant to be. And I realize that about them. And maybe Capricorn says, I do have unconditional love for this person. And they know that too, but they're not whole. They are not yet, ready to mature. And I think Capricorn's going to end up with a real Two of Cups now that they can put this person in the category that they kind of belong in, which is they will forever bounce in and out of my life. They will. I already know that. I'm going to hear from them periodically. I even think this could be the person where Capricorn will know this person their whole life. Randomly, this will be the ex that never goes away, but they're almost like good-natured, and they're a little bit crazy and I don't even think it'll jeopardize Capricorn's real Two of Cups romance that they'll have with somebody else. I think Capricorn's really ready to meet their Two of Cups because they've given this erratic ex the correct, a categorization in their life. You are somebody that is still trying to find your identity, but you're not my forever person, but you're not a bad person. And you do love me for what it's worth. And you'll cycle in and out of my life here and there. And it might even become kind of like, oh, me and my Two of Cups were madly in love. But this ex who's maybe, still always going to be like a kind of an overgrown kid. They sometimes, heck, my Two of Cups says, let them sleep in the garage. They're kind of a bit lost and they're trying to sort stuff out. And it's like, I can't believe this. My Two of Cups person is going to be completely understanding of this ex who cycles in at random. This is not a contender for Capricorn's heart anymore. And it's not going to provide like some kind of like, oh my God, if I don't get that ex out, the ex is evil, they're my karmic, and they're going to tear apart, my relationship with the Two of Cups that I'll be able to fall in love with. There is no threat here to the Two of Cups relationship. That's what this final cycle through is. God bless the characters that cycle in so we can see it clearly for what it is. This is not the person I end up with. This is the person that I don't have to worry about. Was I supposed to end up with them? The answer is a resounding no. Nope. But they're not a karmic either. They're somebody that kind of feels like they'll always be a little attached to Capricorn, but they're not Capricorn's person. But Capricorn, in knowing this now, gets to meet their Two of Cups. That's kind of an amazing message. I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.